Thank you, Gideon, and I want to say thank you so much for the whole leadership team that has facilitated this event to happen. I believe events like this is one way of empowering ourselves. And also, I want to say thank you to our attendees for creating time out of your, I know you have these busy schedules, you have activities which you're doing so that you may join the meeting. And now I will be sharing my screen so that you can hear what we have for you today. First, I want to say welcome to the virtual career fair program, which is in for 2020. And for our today's session, we will heavily focus on self upskilling and motivation. Most of the lessons I'm going to share with you today, they hail from my own experience in the field of self upskilling, and I know most of you will relate with my journey when it comes to self upskilling. Yeah, and this is my short profile. My name is Sharon Bosire. For those who didn't hear my name when I was introduced, I'm a data science trainer at Azubi Africa program. I have a background in statistics from Kenyatta University, which is in Kenya. And we dive in into our session, I want to introduce my co-speaker, who is Gideon Kolade, so that he may give a short introduction of himself. Gideon, you can take over.
My name is Kolade Gideon, a fellow from Azubi Africa. I would like to briefly introduce everyone to Azubi Africa program. As if you guys, Azubi Africa as a program is a collaborative effort between the Ghana Institute of German Institute of Technology, Getting Those Ties, and Microsoft for Africa. This program is aimed at grooming young professionals like myself into leading expert roles in the field of software development, data science, and cloud engineering. Actually, the term Azubi means trainee in German. Hence, its end goals of the program is to provide a platform for business in German and the world to make use of the vast pool of young talented professionals in Africa and Ghana in particular. The program isn't actually just limited to people of technical background, so it's actually open to everyone, everyone who is determined and focused and who is willing to learn, can apply for this program. As a student of this program, I can boldly tell you the program is a good one, so I encourage everyone to apply. The program is divided into three phases. The first one is the training phases, that's the get training phases for Azubi Africa. The program seek to train young talent in both technical and the work related skills that are relevant and are in high demand for the job market. So you get trained in specific technologies and the soft skills aspect of those technologies. So you'll be ready for the job market by the time you are done with the program. The second stage is a certification stage where every candidate who goes through this and has the opportunity of earning two Microsoft certifications pertaining to the program they choose. It's either the data science track, the software engineering, or the cloud technologies. One important part is that all costs for these certifications are all absorbed by the program. So you don't need to pay anything. You just have to learn and pass the program. And the test final stage, which actually I'm very impressed about, is the get hired stage, where the program Azubi and its strategic partners provide a job placement opportunity for Azubi candidates who have successfully completed the program. So when you put your all in and you are able to successfully complete the program, you'll be like you get a chance of being given a job after you successfully complete the program. So when you start the program, put everything in and you'll see the end result. Okay, and lastly, the program is they place a high emphasis on inclusion, where like the program encourages more ladies and people of disability to apply. Right now, the current program, which is being run right now, has up to 40% 40% female participation, and so everyone should feel comfortable applying. So you don't have to say, "Oh, I'm a lady, I can't apply." Everyone is, and everyone should apply. if you feel that that's the field you want to go into. So I urge everyone to go to look up to our website. The website is on the page there. So to know, if you want to know more about the program, you can just ask us a question, or you go and look on the website. Right now, I would like to hand over back to Sharon to continue with the presentation. And
Thank you, Gideon. Thank you for the information, especially about the Azubi Africa program. Yeah, you can check out more information about the upcoming programs on our website, which is azubiafrica.organization, and you will be able to find out like what we do as an organization. So for the so I want us to dive direct into our session for today. For our session for today, I have it's about, you've seen, it's about self upskilling and motivation. I have broken the session down into three objectives, which is introduction to self upskilling. You will get to know like what's self upskilling, what does it entail, and then our second objective is online learning opportunities and how can you pick the right course for you as an individual and in an area where you want to upskill yourself. And we have our third objective, which is the best practices and habits as an individual which you can incorporate or establish so as you navigate upward in your self upskilling landscape. You should incorporate into your life so that you may practice daily the best. I mean, at the end of the day, we always know, like, we always come back to like the habits which you have in your life, how you do your things. I would love us to like to make this session more like interactive. I would love to hear from you, and so that we may share and learn from each other. And I hope by the end of this session you will have one thing which you may want to practice in your daily life or in your daily activities. So before we, as I said, I want this session to be very interactive. I have some questions for you, and I will love Gideon to help me pick out few attendees who will like answer my questions. I want to know what do you know about self upskilling, and how do you choose like a relevant course for you when you in the self upskilling landscape. Gideon, you can help me choose few attendees to help me. I want to get their view on self upskilling.
okay. Who actually wants, anyone who wants to try that? Sharon, you can move on. Anybody? I will get anyone. I will bring you back to that the question.
Okay, perfect, Gideon. Thank you. I had few questions which I wanted us to like create an interaction environment between me and the attendees. I had like one of the question was what's self upskilling? How do you choose a relevant skill for you? And what's the motivation for you after you choose the right skill for you? What's the motivation for learning the new skills, and what's the end goal? And I think all the four questions gives you an overview on what we're going to talk about in our session. Let's move on into our next slide, which is our first objective, which is introduction to self upskilling. And I want to talk about like what's self upskilling. I think self upskilling is learning a new skill to improve your professional life or to take charge of your learning and personal development as a person. In maybe you want to develop you want to like to develop yourself your new in your profession, in your new job you are. You want to add like more skills, and that's what we call self upskilling. And what comes into my mind, like why should you upskill? Like what's the major reason for you upskilling? As for I know most of us are from like you can see the world is moving way fast. the skills which you may have now, right now, they may not be like relevant in the next 1 year, and that gives you like a clear overview on why you should like upskill yourself. And as you can see, as time goes by, new devices are being introduced to the market, new tools, all those things are being introduced to the market. And how can you keep up with this rapid change which is happening currently in the current world? The right answer for like why you should self upskill yourself is like for you to like secure your job, or you want to boost your resume. You can I mean your resume was reading like last year, it was reading you had a skill on this and this. I mean 2020 it should be reading you have a new skill, maybe on let me give an example. As I said, I'm a data scientist, and last year my resume was reading I have a skill in Python. And in 2020, as a person, I should always aim at like I should have like a new skill in my resume. Maybe I should be try to seek a skill in data scientist. We have a skill where we train on like maybe cloud concepts, maybe Azure fundamentals. I should have a skill in that. And generally, you should always aim at improving your current skill set as an individual. Maybe you can think of it can start from the soft skills up to the technical skills. I think generally most people ignore the soft skill part, which is the soft skill part includes communication, presentation, or all those things. And I really I want to encourage most of you to like try to take the soft skills very serious. Don't concentrate only on the technical skill aspect. Also try to like create balance in your life. Before we have our next slide, we have a picture which I will love Gideon to take over and like give us more information. This is a visual representation, and obviously a visual representation always have a meaning. I would love Gideon to take over and explain to us like what does this visual representation entails.
Thanks, Sharon.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at these images, it shows you what's the name, upscaling for success. And when you see the arrow, also skills and potential with training leads to growth. So when you think about it right now, you see career growth is, if you look at it, career growth is a process of like moving. Let's talk about career growth. It's a process of moving from one point of your career ladder to another point. One of the most popular ways where we can achieve this is through promotion in the job places. So if you get hired by a company in 2018, or as a creative designer, let's say creative designer, and by 2020, you become the creative director of that particular group. This is called career growth, and this growth is driven by personal goals. This growth is driven by personal goals. That's what you want to achieve in your job places, and what drives you to achieve those goals. The goals you set for yourself to move vertically in the organizational ladder or in your career ladder of the career ladder. And to be able to achieve these goals, we should have to polish our skill sets towards the improvements we actually envision for ourselves. Like when you know you want to achieve, you want to be the lead of the creative designing team, you should try to like polish your skills so that you will like, when the time comes for you to be promoted, you'll be considered, and that position might be given to you. So you polish your skill, pay more attention to how you intend to achieve these goals. That's like pay like strategic attention. How will I achieve this goal? What will I do? What are the do's and what shouldn't I do before you when you are trying to achieve these goals? And the next one is improving on your current skills and potential. When you upskill yourself, that's the skills and potential. You are preparing the groundwork for a successful career or whatever dream you have. Probably you've not gotten the job and you're trying to like get a job in a particular field. So when the current skills you're having right now isn't relevant and won't make the cut for that particular job. So when you go there to gain new skills, you improve upon your skills and your potentials right now, and probably you gotten the job. So right now you've laid a foundation for a successful career from that point. So when you upskill yourself, you improve your skills and your potential, and that will lead to your career growth, and that career growth will lead to the career success we all want. Okay, and online opportunities. When you want to upskill yourself, one of the best ways to upskill yourself is to use the online opportunities, and we have the internet is so big that everything you need, you will be able to get it. At least you'll be able to get it. So I would like someone else, you guys to like in the chat, drop me other platforms which you are aware of, that where you can upskill yourself, like learn new skills and to achieve your specific goals you set for yourself. So I'll be talking about Udemy. First, I'll be talking about Udemy. Udemy is an entirely an on-demand platform, which means that you can enroll in a course, the course that interests you, learn at your own pace, and begin the course whenever you like. You are not limited to any deadline to complete anything. Complete anything. So like it's a pace. You learn it at your own pace. No one disturbs you. You just when you buy the course, you learn it at the pace you want, whenever you want, what time you want, depending on your own motivation. And some of the on Udemy, some of the courses are free, while other are paid for. So, the cost ranges from $10 to $200. And on Udemy, you can also, when you buy a course, you can also download it. They have a mobile app where you can actually, for your own convenience, you can actually download the mobile app and learn or on your phone whilst you go out and go on. So that's one of the platform where you can learn, or you can upskill yourself to learn new skills. The second is Coursera. Coursera is an online educational platform that offers online courses, popularly called massive open online courses. These courses are from top universities around the world, which some of these courses are free also. While others cost between $39 to $79 per month. So they run on a monthly model where you pay per month to access the material. And they also have a free 7-day trial, which you register for a course and you take that course for 7 days before you are billed for it. And they also provide, the one thing I like is that they provide a scholarship. You can apply for a scholarship for a particular course which you want to take, and they will consider you for it. Probably sometimes it depends on the on your arguments and why you think you are worth the scholarship. So you should take a look at this platform also. The third platform on my list is Udemy. Udemy is also is an online educational platform also that focuses on a stronger job training, on the job training. Udemy offers a micro credential courses called nano degrees. So sometimes these degrees are free. When they are free, they don't come with certificates. So, but when they are paid for, they come with certificates. So, and Udemy module is also close to the Coursera model, which is you pay on a monthly basis. You pay $200 on a monthly basis also. So you can also download these materials when you pay for it and learn it as you go. These courses are free, are on your own pace. You learn it when you want and how you want it. And fourth is LinkedIn Learning. We all know LinkedIn is a social media platform, but it also has an online platform also attached to the social media platform where that helps you discover and develop your business and technical skills. These courses are taught by experts in the field. So Udemy tries to bridge the gap between the career you want, that's the career you want, and the skills you need to attain that career. So when I want to be a data scientist, Udemy will give me the tools and the necessary material to like learn in order to achieve the career goal. So Udemy helps web professionals achieve more. When you use Udemy, you kind of like increase upon your soft skills and your technical abilities. And at your own pace, you learn at your own pace. No one forces you what time to learn and when to learn it. So it depends on your own motivation and the time frame you give to yourself. And Udemy comes in a premium form that's $29 per month. It's kind of cheaper than the rest than Coursera and Audacity, but also offers a 30 days free trial for anyone who wants to try it. And the fourth one on the list is TED Talks. TED Talks is basically a platform where experienced professionals come to give and address a particular topics. You come and address probably in politics. They come and address political issues. Anyone who is interested in that will just attend a live event. Slides. Okay. Picking the right course. When you want to upskills, you have to like know what courses you have to learn or what materials you have to learn. So picking the right course, picking the right courses. The first on the list is knowing your interest. Before you actually upskill yourself, you should know your interest, what you want, like what you are interested in. It's probably you want to be a civil engineer, so you have to know your interests, and we have to know the interest you have, like the interest, what interests you, what you want to do with the upskilling. So the second is take a course that's relevant to the upskilling skill you want. If you want to be a civil engineer, you can go taking a course that is for mechanical engineer. So you have to like go for a course that is tailored for that civil engineer tax, not for any other tax again. And thirdly, you should know how this course is designed. There are so many ways courses are designed. Some courses are designed for people who are fast learners and the rest. Some courses you should know like what are the hindrance in that course. What will hinder me when I learn that course and the rest. And the third is the flexibility of the course. Some courses are like a class based oriented, where like so this week they give you a work and you have to submit the next day or the upper day. But all have some courses are free pace, where you learn at your own pace without any hindrance. You just learn when you want and or the time you want. So I also have to take consideration on the learning the different learning styles. Some people are slow learners, whilst others are fast learners. Some people, when they take whatever they want to learn materials within 20 minutes, 30 minutes, they've already taken some real benefit from it. Others take time before they actually absorb anything out from it. So you should also put that into consideration. The next one is, which is one of the most important one, is when you want to upskill. If you are looking for a job and you want to upskill, you should actually know the skill sets the employers prefer. So before you actually even start looking for the course, you know your interests and look for the skills the employers want before you even start. So the next slide would bring us some, will give us some little in depth of how employers position themselves, like how they like lay out the skills they want. So the first one is a data scientist. So the employer says, I want a data scientist, and these are the skills requirements I want. So before when you want to be a data scientist, you know that okay, the number one skill is a excellent verbal and written communication skills and a data and model presentation skills. So before I become a data scientist, this employer wants this type of skills. So right now, if I want to go and learn, I have to learn skills that are related to this, so that I'll be able to like get this job, And the other one also is a quality assurance engineer specialist. Also, if you want to get this job, you also have to learn something pertaining to these specific skills, not something else, because these are the skills they want for this job. You can't go and learn something else and say you want this particular job. And thirdly, also a chemist quality control officer. The skill requirement is an expert in scientific knowledge in the field of analytic chemistry. If you want this type of job, you have skill pertaining to this type of requirements, a good communication skills in German and in English. So looking at this requirement right now, it seems the employer is in Germany, so he wants someone who can speak English and German together for an easy communication. So that's one thing you should also look out for. And also, yeah, the person has to be an IT personnel, like someone who is good with IT softwares that has worked with other quality control software also. Right now, I will have to hand over back to my lead Sharon to lead us with the rest of the material. Sharon.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Gideon. Thank you. As you have heard, Gideon has taken us through from the online platform where you can access and try to self upskill yourself. He has given us tips on how you can pick the right course for yourself, and even he has gone further to give us an example on about a job advert. You should always know the job requirements. This is an example. We have this job, a data scientist. I am supposed to know, I'm supposed to have an excellent verbal communication. I'm supposed to be excellent maybe in Python. And if I don't have those skills, I can always go back to the online platform and try to learn. So after going all through all those aspects, I want us to reflect on, maybe you have been in this journey of learning a new skill. What are what are the major challenges as an individual do you face when it comes to self-learning? This is a question I want you to reflect as an individual and try to ask yourself, what things do I do which has made me not to progress as a person when it comes to self learning? An example from I can give you an example for myself. I mean, I have been in this self upskilling journey for some time, and sometimes I can set up I want to finish this course by tomorrow, and sometimes you may get I haven't covered the course by the time I had set for myself. Those are some of the challenges. Even we can you can look into sometimes you might I understand some courses have quizzes. Sometimes you might do a quiz and you fail, and that might discourage you, but that shouldn't be an end point for you as an individual. You should always find a way how you should always move further, because I mean when you start you start learning a course. I mean, you always have a purpose why you started learning that course. So I want us to look at the best practices you should incorporate into your personal life as an individual when you take up the self upskilling landscape as an individual. One of the best practices I always encourage a person to always try to practice is you should set realistic goals for yourself. I mean, it's really important to set up big goals for yourself, but setting realistic goals. Let me give an example. For example, you say, I'm taking this communication course, and if I start today, by tomorrow I should be able to finish this course. And if you do meet your goal, that will motivate you even more to continue in to progress in taking your course and upskilling yourself. The second best practice is about self motivation, and I think self motivation it has to be attached to a purpose. Where did I start? What's the reason behind me having to take this course? Do I want to get an upgrade in my current job position? Do I want to get an upgrade? Do I want to improve in my communication skills? Do I want to improve in my writing skills? Always when you do something, make sure it's attached to a purpose. When you have a purpose, it drives you even to do greater things. The third thing is make sure you create a sensible schedule for you. Make sure you set a timetable for you from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. This is the time for me to focus on learning about the communication skills from Udemy, from Coursera, or whichever site you have registered in. And that will create a drive for you, so that will create a drive for you in a way that you create balance in your life. And the fifth best practice is always stay consistent. Consistency is the key. The consistency is the key to everything in life. I mean, you can't set goals for yourself. You start this week, and next week you're not doing anything. I mean, I know most people, it's so hard to keep the consistent aspect in your life, but you should always strive on being consistent in whatever you do. It shouldn't even be in the self upskilling landscape. It should be anything you apply in your life. You should try to be very consistent. And then our last best practice is network. You have identified this online opportunity. You have picked the right course, and you have identified the best practices, and then you have started learning these new skills. And what's next for you? If you have a job, I mean, that's good for you. You can go back to your employee and talk to your employee and say, oh, I have learned this skill and this skill. I think the way we have been doing our work by, maybe let me use an example. We have been doing our work using maybe Word, and I think Excel can be very efficient when we handling the work. You can go back to your employee and explain that. But if you don't like have a job, don't learn a skill and sit on it. Try to seek opportunities. Try to reach out to your network always, so that your skill doesn't go to a waste. As you all know, practice makes perfect. You can't just, you can't just learn something and you just, that's your end goal. You have reach out to your network, tell them I'm good in this and this, and please, how do you have any position where like I can apply this skill? Or if you can't reach out to your network, you can even like start something. You shouldn't limit yourself as a person. You should create a life for yourself where you can create anything for yourself. You can even start a company. You can even start something like, if you learned about communication skill, you can even start something like, I want to I want to encourage people. Maybe some people have like very poor communication skills, and maybe I was there at one point, and I really want to help people who are in my stage at one point in improving their communication skill. You can there's they I believe in there's always something you can do for yourself as a person. And all those things we have stated in this session, I really encourage you as all I really encourage all the attendees to try to incorporate into their lives, starting from identifying the the online platform which they feel they suit their learning, and then you picking the right course, the best practices, all those things. I really encourage you. So that you try to like incorporate them into your life. And we want to see people. We want to see people progressing in life. We don't want to see you. Last year you had a skill maybe you had a skill on good communication, and you still, that's the only skill you have. We want to see people progressing in life. It should be like a progress. It should always, you should move from point one to B, point one to two, three, four, five. It should be always like a journey where you always aim to like discovering new things about yourself. We had a Q&A where we wanted to like hear from you on what you think about self-upskilling, but I don't think we have time to conduct that. But you can send your questions in the chat, and we will find a way on how we should like answer your questions. And I want to say thank you for making time to attend this session, and I really hope you try to incorporate anything which you have gained from this session. And I hope you really have like an impact in your life, in the self upskilling progress in your life. Let me just say that. And now I pass it over to Andrew, who is like our main facilitator for this event. Andrew, you can take over.
Thank you very much, Sharon. I wouldn't waste much time. I believe that attendees have heard what you're supposed to share. Thank you very much, Gideon, for your time. We very much appreciate it. We'll be moving on to the next session, so you can join us there. Nice day.
Thank you so much, Andrew.